Telfer. Zarafki's onside this time, no doubt about that. Dublin waits in the middle. Maloney's joining him. So too is Petrov. That's from Maloney. Oh, that's a classic by Maloney. Sheer brilliance.
What a technique that is. Absolutely delightful. He's put his socks off this afternoon. Got up there with the support. And that is a top quality finish.
Petrov. Bernardi got a touch, that prevented the ball reaching Zurawski. Oh, that's dreadful play there by Andy Todd, and Dublin had a chance to open a Celtic account there.
Just taken him by surprise here. Believe that they actually come to that.
Good turn by Lennon, very good turn. Now the pass is important. He's picked out Maloney very well indeed. Maloney fancies another shot at goal, I think. Didn't quite catch that. That's Zurawski. Maloney again, a very neat turn. Lennon. Well, that's what they really would like to see. He scored! Neil Lennon! The first time since December 2001 against Hibs at Celtic Park.
Kyogo. Keeper's near post. Well, inside the near post. Getting a hand to it, but not enough.
Very good strike by Darren Young and good goalkeeping by Boric.
Good football all round there. Darren Young again hitting the target.
Wally Mason deciding or telling people what to expect. Here goes Burchill. Well, shooting practice here for Boric.
Yeah, straight down his throat. Pretty comfortable. It's the side he's defending.
This is McManus. Off goes Zurawski, he's getting the better of Todd for pace. This could be his fourth. It is! 8-1 to Celtic.
Straight ball, McManus straight over the top. It's as direct as it comes. Great first touch, back across Andy Todd, into the far post.
And here goes Zurawski, could it be another? Now Nakamura takes over, can he do the necessary? Oh, good block by Halliwell, he's still working hard. Well, the face tells the story. A proud man, very good manager over many years. He's had to watch his team disintegrate here as Zurawski helps himself to 4 goals. Neil Lennon even manages one. First time since December 2001. Celtic march on, 13 points ahead. The Thunder 1, Celtic 8.
Lee Griffiths drives forward down the right hand side. Still Lee Griffiths, and that's a crunching tackle there from Paul Payton. I think he just about saw that there was a yellow ball there. The ball's cut forward. It's taken off the toes of Forrest, but it's still Rogic. Still a chance for Rogic to stretch it. Knocks it beyond Tierney. Tierney does well. Into the area, still Kieran Tierney. Plays it low. Back to Griffiths. Griffiths with a chance. It's in the back of the net. It's Lee Griffiths' first chance of the day. Where else does it end up but in the back of the net? Celtic leading by a goal to 0.
Yes, I think finally the pressure started to tail on the back lot of St Johnstone, and I think it was actually a slack pass. I think Brian Easton lost the ball. Eventually again through the right hand side, it worked its way into the box. Kieran Tierney finished driving it across, and thankfully Lee Griffiths, we've seen that so many times, being in the right place at the right time and then executing a superb finish.
O'Connell wins the header, knocks it into the St Johnstone half, and it's picked up by Sinclair. He nudges it inside to Rogic, he drives forward again. Forrest is there, edge of the box, there's a chance for Forrest, chance for 2-0, it's saved, and Griffiths saved again, and Sinclair at the third attempt. Celtic have scored. 2 wonderful saves from Alan Manis, but there was nothing he could do, and for the second consecutive league game, Scott Sinclair has got on the score sheet.
Yeah, and that's certainly that goal that I certainly hoped for just a few moments ago. And we got it. I thought it was going to be Lee Griffiths scoring his second goal, but great following up. Goalkeeper Manis made a great save, made 2 great saves. You know, Sinclair following up into the box where you want them to be, and that makes it a lot more comfortable now, the position, just with that second goal.
The ball switched to the left hand side. Swanson's got a bit of space, he can deliver this one with his right foot, curls it into the box. Beaton clears it up towards the halfway line Forrest sprints to reach it, so does Griffiths. Griffiths tries to get his body in front of his man, flicks it on to Forrest. Forrest one-on-one with Paul Payton. Still Forrest drives towards goal. Still Forrest into the box. A chance for 3. Oh, what a goal from James Forrest! Wonderful play from Griffiths to set him up, but Forrest had to do it all, and he did. 3-0 Celtic.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic play from Lee Griffiths first, just to nudge the centre back off the ball and release James Forrest. And then you knew when James Forrest was running up against Paul Payton, there was only going to be one winner there in terms of pace and skill. An absolutely fantastic goal, great composure finally inside the box, where you expect him to hit it with the right foot, or outside his right foot to the right hand side of the goalkeeper. He actually called it the other way to the left hand side, and absolutely stunning goal.
Ball played to Swanson. Swanson in the area. Quite a few blue shots around him, and Henderson challenges, and the referee points to the spot, and it's a penalty kick to St Johnstone.
I think a gust of wind just blew the, where was it, Swanson? I don't see there being anything really wrong with that challenge.
It's Swanson against Craig Gordon. St Johnstone with a chance with 8 minutes to go to reduce the deficit. Danny Swanson steps up and he blasts it beyond Craig Gordon, and it's now Celtic 3, St Johnstone 1. And it's played to Swanson. Swanson right hand side of the area, plays it low along the 6-yard box, and it's scrambled into the back of the net. Well, I'm not sure if it is a goal. Yeah, I think Stephen McLean might have got the last touch to it. And St Johnstone have now reduced the deficit to just 1. It's 3 goals to 2, and we have about 90 seconds plus added time. The ball breaks to Henderson. Henderson knocks it into the box towards Sinclair. It's a chance for Sinclair for his second goal. Breaks to Christie, and it's in the back of the net. And Celtic.
Celtic are back at Paradise. The fans are hoping for a top performance in the Premiership that would arrest any concerns over their defeat to Kilmarnock last Sunday in the League Cup. The manager says he's looking for a positive reaction from his players, but injuries have decimated the central defensive positions, with key players ruled out for up to 2 months. A chance then for fringe players to shine and show they are up to the task. St Johnstone are the visitors to Celtic Park. No points or goals in the opening 2 games for Stevie McLean's side, so they're looking to kickstart their season with what would be a surprise result today. Yes, welcome to our live coverage here on Celtic TV of Celtic against St Johnstone in the Cinch Premiership. It is great to have your company this afternoon. It's a dry afternoon here, and we should be up for a good 90 minutes of entertaining football. I'm delighted to say I'm here in the company of a man who made almost 500 appearances for the Hoops, of course, former Celtic midfielder Peter Grant. Peter, what are you hoping to see from Celtic today?
Well, I think like everyone else, you're looking for a reaction to the game last week. Obviously, it was a big disappointment for everyone, but that happens in football, unfortunately. They didn't play as well as you're expecting. The standards have set. But listening to all the players, all the reaction you have at Celtic Footballers Club is what you do next. And I'm looking forward to a big performance. And I'm looking forward to seeing the boys that's coming in as well. I know there's been changes, but I still think it's more a team that's more than capable on a top performance.
We'll look at the changes in a second, but we love a goal scorer here at Celtic Park. We love a goal scoring midfielder, Peter. You didn't score that many in your time at Celtic, but when you did hit the back of the net, my goodness, they were spectacular. Here's a couple.
Yeah, it wasn't very often, but as I say, I never get in the box. They had to be for distance. That was the difference.
Here's one at Firhill.
Yeah, Firhill. Much like playing against the teams with their colours, you know what I mean? So I've noticed that, and I like that Perham as well, so that was nice.
Yeah,
that was a style at that time, Jerry.
I think I had one myself, Peter, as well.
It's a demi-wave.
Is that what they call it? Let's have a look then at the Celtic starting 11. I mentioned some changes from that result at Rugby Park. Unsurprisingly in defence, because Celtic ravaged by injuries in the centre-half position. So 4 changes. Alistair Johnson, great to see him back to full fitness, so he starts at right back. Liam Scales, as expected, comes in to the left side of that central defence. David Turnbull starts, and it's a first start for Yang on the wing as well. It's not often, Peter, we see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at the backs and squad numbers were introduced, is it?
I think you're right. I think the last time was when I was here. That's just how long ago that was. So it's very interesting. I'm looking forward to it. It's interesting that young Scales is the most important and most experienced player probably in the team at the back line.
Yeah.
And the Celtic performances I'm talking about and the experience they gained at Aberdeen last year. So it'll be interesting to see how they balance off together. I'm looking forward to it because it gives you a left-sided balance also. So I'm not too frightened about it. I know that both of them can perform. I'm looking forward to the game.
St Johnstone have had their injury worries as well. Stevie McLean's made a number of signings. It's not been the best start to the season, but you can never write off teams when they come here because we've seen it so many times, Peter. You've experienced it in your own time. Teams towards the bottom of the league, they've got an opportunity. The shackles are off. They can raise their games out of the pressure.
Yes, they can, but I think there's a difficulty there. We talk about Celtic, the injuries they've had. When you've got a club like St Johnstone, you lose the players, the quality players for their section as well. It makes it very, very difficult for them. I expect Celtic to go out and perform really well. I don't think St Johnstone are strong enough to hold back Celtic. And that's what we're hoping, obviously, for a big performance also.
Yeah, I mean, but when the pressure is off and you're at the bottom of the league, nothing's expected of St Johnstone when they come here. But Celtic, massively strong favourites against a team who haven't managed a goal in their opening 2 games.
Yeah, but I think you would say that about most teams that come here. You know, massive underdogs, and we'd expect that to come in the Celtic Park. You'll come in here, you'll lock solid, you'll be trying to defend deep to make sure that you're not creating gaps and giving Celtic early opportunities. That's the one thing you don't want to go behind early, because if you go behind early, it could be a long, long day. And that's what Stephen McLean will be trying to get into his players. He's made a lot of changes also, but it'll be interesting to see how they go from here, you know, because it'll be a tough afternoon for them if they lose a goal early. Let's
talk about the changes that the manager has made then, particularly at the back. We know with Cameron Carter-Vickers out injured, Carl Starfelt's away. So unfortunate for Stephen Welsh, who would be getting a great opportunity to stake a claim. Got injured the day after he signed a new deal. We sign a centre-half in Nawrocki, who comes in, looks very strong, picks up an injury with literally the last kick of the game at Rugby Park. Lagerbielke has come in, Liam Scales is there. Great opportunity for both of these players this afternoon.
Absolutely, I was impressed with him even last week. His use of the ball was very, very good. But people will always talk about that now, about modern day centre backs. I like to see how they can defend, and I thought in his 1v1s he'd done that very well actually. And I'm looking forward to him here. But listen, you always look for a bit of experience beside with him. And unfortunately, Scales is the experienced one just through age. But it's a good balance. You've got the left foot, the right foot. And I've been impressed with young Scales from out to Aberdeen last year. Well, I'm looking forward to him.
It's funny you say young Scales, and I think people do think he's young, but he's 25 years old, so right in the prime of his career. Did really well at Aberdeen. Perhaps he was expecting, there was some talk of him maybe going back. I don't think, realistically, we need central defenders, so he's here to stake a claim. And with injuries and players being out for up to a couple of months, as the manager said, it's a great chance for the likes of Liam Scales, even in the Champions League.
Absolutely, because as I say, in pre-season I thought he'd done very well. I watched the pre-season games and I thought he handled himself very well. And I think that's what you do. You grow into Celtic. We talk about experience. Experience, you mean with the amount of games here and the pressure you've had to play at Celtic Park all the time. He's young in that respect, so I'm really looking forward to him.
Turnbull had a great start to the season, Peter. He's back in the starting 11 this afternoon. The thing you always get with Turnbull is the chance of a goal.
I'm a big fan of David Turnbull's. I know last year he never got as many games because the team was playing so well. That was the reason probably. He's always a goal threat. I know he misses the target now and again, But I think it's fantastic as a midfield player who can score goals.
And we saw what this man can do. He's got a burst of pace. He loves to run with the ball and dribble with the ball. To great effect at Pittodrie. Yang making his first start this afternoon.
Yeah, Yang's been very impressive. I like the players that go on in Celtic. The supporters love wingers who can take people on and go and take people in a 1v1 situation. I've been very impressed with him, and it's not easy to hit the ground running here, especially in a wide player where you've got defenders playing against you, and especially even last week when he came on at Kilmarnock, we're up against him because they played with the wing backs, so he was getting marked. But he's tight feet in tight areas, and I would be leaving. I'd be staying out the road of him because I just let him in the 1v1 situations, which you'll need against someone like St Johnstone. You try to open the door because they're difficult games.
And if there is any frustration with the support this afternoon, the early stages of the game, it's a player like Yang that can excite the fans and get them going earlier on. The fans get behind the team feel more relaxed, they play better, they feed off each other.
It's always the same here. Listen, expectations here never change. Doesn't matter how good the team is or bad the team is, they'll always support them through thick and thin. Yes, they'll go on your case if you're not starting particularly well, but they always get excited with players that want to try. And if these guys are wanting to try and take people on, and you're going to make mistakes, that's the guarantee. There's going to be disappointing times, of course. There's a lot of boys playing together for the first time as a team here at Celtic Park. So the fans will understand that. Of course, we understand the frustrations of last week, but that'll not carry on. Once the team got up and playing, everybody forgets about last week. It's all about today and how they performed today. And we're really looking forward. I'm excited to see them because, as I say, the younger ones have come in. It's an opportunity for them. And that's what I always say. You never know when opportunity knocks, but you've got to be willing to grab it and take it with both hands, and hopefully these guys do that today.
Absolutely. Well, let's hear from one player who's in his third season at the club now. He burst on to the scene as a fresh-faced teenager and quickly became a fan's favourite with his pace, with his dribbling and with his goals. He's just one goal short of 30 for the club and got off the mark against Aberdeen at Pittodrie. Dalen Docherty has been speaking to Liel Abada.
Liel, always good to speak with you. It was a disappointing result to exit the Cup on Sunday against Kilmarnock. What has the reaction been like around the building since that defeat?
Yeah, you know, every time you play in the club like Celtic, you want to play good, you want to show the best performance you can. And we didn't do on Saturday. Now we learn from the mistake and we come again and as soon as possible.
How important is it to get that reaction on Saturday in front of the Celtic supporters?
Yeah, every time Celtic fans come every game, doesn't matter if this is home or away, and they want to see like the best performance from the team, and they want to see the result then. And we didn't do that on Saturday, but we know what we need to improve. We learn from that, and hopefully on Saturday we will come again and we'll show again what it is mean Celtic.
You started all the games so far this season under the manager, Brendan Rodgers. What has it been like to work with him? And has there been anything you've enjoyed so far?
Yeah, you know, Brendan is a great manager. He's been here before in Celtic. I think he can improve me a lot this year. He can show me from his experience. I can learn a lot. And I really enjoy to work with him.
St Johnstone coming up at Celtic Park. We've had some very good results against them last season. Are you hoping to get on the score sheet again after getting off the mark against Aberdeen?
Yeah, you know, every time you come to the game to win, this is what you mean Celtic. Come every time and to win. And hopefully on Saturday we can come together, everyone, and to show our performance. And hopefully we will get 3 points.
You're now on to your third season here at Celtic. How does it feel knowing you're one of the more experienced players in the squad, and is that something that you feel?
Yeah, you know, I feel that I have more experience here. I remember the first time when I came Celtic, Nero took me and helped me a lot with the language, with everything. And now I really feel more experience, and hopefully I can give a little bit from my experience here to the new boss that came here, and hopefully we can work together, everyone.
13 goals for you last season, Liel, including in the Scottish Cup final. What are the ambitions for the season ahead?
Yeah, you know, I have target this season, but I won't keep it for myself. But I think I just want to improve myself, help to the team, and learn a lot from the staff. And this is the most important for me this year.
Of course, the UEFA Champions League is coming up. It must be amazing for any young player to play in the biggest competition in the world. You've done it already. How are you looking forward to those nights once again?
Yeah, I think to play in Champions League, it's very special for every player. We played last season and we learned from the mistake, and hopefully this season we can show more in Champions League and to do our job there.
L.A. Liel Abada, never present in the Celtic side until we speak to him, and then he's on the bench Peter tonight. But you know, Yang perhaps deserves the start. But what you get with Abada, as we saw last year, is you sometimes get a real impact when he comes off the bench. I spoke about him breaking into the scene. This was his first goal, and since then he's popped up with some very important ones.
He's got striker's instinct as a wide player. I've been really, really impressed with him. As I say, I'm a big favourite of his because I love watching him play, because he plays with an enthusiasm and he wants to get in the box and score goals, which is unusual for a wide player. Now, someone so young, I think we forget how young he is, and he's going to have his dips in form at times, but he's got this predator instinct. But I really enjoy him. I'm delighted he's still here, because I know they were talking the summertime that have not been here, and I'm one for sure. It's a big favourite of his, because I love watching him play, and it gives me great excitement because he gets in at the back post, not like the Davy Provence, who were great crossers of the ball. He's another one that puts a goal to the end of it, and I think that gives you, especially the way you play with one striker predominantly nowadays, and I think he's a big, big threat, and I think he's only going to get better as the season goes along. You
mentioned that playing with one striker, and it means that there's quite often space around them. Kyogo is, of course, the main man for Celtic, but we've seen at times this season, even when he comes deep and links play with, you know, Matt O'Reilly, you know, Liel Abada, David Turnbull, the spaces will open up for other players around Kyogo.
There's no doubt of that. I love him right up the top, because he's one of these players for me. He loves to finish off his first or his second touch, you know, so the closer it is to the goal, and it's a nightmare. Defenders are quite happy at times with him in front of them, but he's added that to his game this season. I know Brendan's been looking for that, and it gives you space, as you say, for wide players running beyond if he's dragging central defenders out, which is unusual at Celtic Park to create that space. You have to find a way, and Kyogo does it both ways. He goes on the last line of you, which is very, very difficult to match, but also he's got the willingness to run in the box. He's wanting to score all the time. He gets between the sticks all the time, which he can do, as you can see, finish his first time. And he's brilliant at this. And this was, I don't think he get the credit for this finish, because he's under pressure with two defenders bearing down on him. He's got little time to think. He's taken his touch and smashed it. But a top quality player, and I'm absolutely delighted that he signed his new contract, that's for sure.
Yeah, and Celtic through the years, we've always really wanted or needed to have a player who just is so prolific in front of goals, and Kyogo is one of those players who can be sometimes quite quiet and drift out of games, but then you just give him that one chance, that one little opportunity, and he can stick the ball in the back of the net.
I tend to disagree when people say that, because I always watch him during the games and he's always on the move. Sometimes we don't play the ball quickly enough forward to him, because he makes a great movement, he's in the space and doesn't receive the ball and say, well, people say he's not had a touch yet, but it doesn't stop his movement, and that's the one thing I'm really impressed with him, because he keeps going and he keeps going, he keeps making the runs, and that's why he gets the goals he does, because he doesn't give in, he doesn't think, oh well, I'll throw a dummy out the pram and nobody's passing the ball forward here. He keeps going, and that's why he gets the amount of goals he does, that's why he gets the amount of chances he does, and that's why he's so important, because Celtic, as you know, and for all the years going past, they always need a top quality striker who can finish off their first and second touch, and he does it tremendously well.
Just talking about that, players who drift out of games and then can do something spectacular. Did you see the footage of Lionel Messi from the camera was close up on him at one of his goals he scored for Inter Miami, and the build up to the goal, it was as if he was just away in his own little world for a good couple of minutes, and then all of a sudden it was genius.
But that's what I'm saying, that's Kyogo's similar. He stands behind the back line, he's dragging you up the pitch, he's creating space for others, but when the opportunity comes, he's so alive, he's so sharp, then comes off the goalkeeper, he's 9 times out of 10 he's the first one there, and that's what I really like about him. And he's a fantastic player for Celtic, and he's going to only get better. The experience he gets, he's still a young man, but the experience he gets, the more times he plays here, the more opportunities he gets, and once the team settles down a little bit, there's no doubt in my mind he'll be the top goal scorer again in Scotland this year. Matt
O'Reilly's a player that you know well from down south at Fulham Academy. He starts again this afternoon. It took him to March last season to get 2 goals. He's already got 2 goals. We can see here's an example of Kyogo coming deep and Matt getting on the end of it. He's not there to score goals. That's not his game, but everyone loves sticking the ball in the back of the net.
Absolutely, and he's more than capable of that. He's got a wonderful left foot, as I've said many times. But people forget that he played a lot this season last year in a different role for the team, you know, so he wasn't getting as many chances, but he's creativity, the amount of opportunities he still created was fantastic, the goals he get, and he started the season very, very well this year. He's a top quality young player, and he's also fantastic at set plays. And people in the modern day game, when the games are tight and it's tough, even like last week when it's so difficult to create as many chances as you would like, set plays are so important, and Matt's, as I say, has got a wonderful left footer, as well as a very, very intelligent all-round footballer.
One of the St Johnstone players you know pretty well this afternoon, Graham Carey, used to be at Celtic. He's only played one game. He only did play one game as a youngster for Celtic, but it was when you were on the coaching staff here, you brought him on in a Europa League game against Rapid Vienna. He then got a move to St Mirren, Ross County, had a good career down at Plymouth, and here he is back at St Johnstone. What do you remember about Graham Carey?
I remember another one, he had a wonderful left foot, you know, but he had a great attitude to his training, even as a young player. And Tony, we watched him in training, we thought, give him an opportunity, and then we put him on against Rapid Vienna. I know he never had a big Celtic career. He'd done fantastically well, especially at Plymouth. He was wonderful down there, he was a fans' hero down there, done exceptional down, which is unusual for his type of player, because usually they're big and strong, and that's the way they have in the lower division down in England. But he was talented, a really good creator of chances, and I'm delighted that he's had the career and he's continued to play, because he still have a big effect on St Johnstone as they go forward.
Yeah, 34 years of age now, Graham Carey. 24 years of age is Celtic's new Swedish centre-half, Gustav Lagerbielke. Here he is with John Ledwith.
Gustav, you get your first chance to walk out and play at Celtic Park. How excited are you to do that this afternoon?
I don't think words can describe it. It's like a dream come true, and obviously I'm very excited. It's going to be really fun.
And you were thrown in at the deep end last week. You didn't have much time to settle. How have you found training this week in preparation for what is a very important match?
Yeah, it's been an intense 1.5 week now, but all the boys and the staff has helped me a lot. Not only like with the tactical and football bits, but also like settling in the group and in the town also. So it feels really good.
And I'm assuming there's a great deal of determination in that dressing room to get back to winning ways today.
Yeah, of course. We always want to win, and didn't go as we expected last week, so we'll make up for it this week.
Well, I hope you enjoy your first bow in paradise. Good luck today, Gustav.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Steps forward, and Celtic have the lead. The champions are in front. Kyogo in the middle, brings it across towards Kyogo! And of course, he shoots, he scores! Chips it to the far post, it's a chance for Turnbull, and he scored this time! It was a harder chance, but he scored. Matt O'Reilly, the provider. Kyogo, we were talking about him popping up here, there and everywhere. He combined with O'Reilly. O'Reilly, can he make it 4-1 on his weaker right foot? Of course he does.
O'Reilly, it's a high one to the back post, it's a real chance. Oh, terrible back pass, chance for Kyogo! What a goal from Kyogo! Here's Yang. Good play from Yang, it must be! Matt O'Reilly with the finish! So Celtic looking to make it 3 wins out of 3 in the league. Kickoff is not far away, less than 10 minutes, and a chance for you to win £10,000 in today's Paradise Windfall draw. All you have to do is get yourself a ticket via the Celtic Pools app. It will cost you £2. You've got to be at least 18 years of age and be inside the UK and Ireland. Please visit begambleaware.org. All right, let's hear from the man in charge. Brendan Rodgers is with John Ledwith.
Brendan, such is the nature of life at Celtic that every defeat, every draw demands a big reaction or response. But in reality, what should that look like for you today on the pitch?
Well, I think it's exactly that. I think if you lose a game, especially a cup game, then of course it's that next mental challenge to get over. You got to get back. You got to analyse it, and then you got to put your work in and put it right in the next game. So that's the challenge today.
And your squad depth has been tested given injuries. Along the back line, Gustav Lagerbielke had it's a difficult task within a few days going to a place like Rugby Park. This is going to be a different occasion for him, and one that you'll hope that he'll enjoy and relish.
Yeah, he will do. I think it's part of the reason why a player comes to Celtic is to play in front of the supporters and play at such a great stadium. So yeah, it was a challenge for him coming in after only a couple of days and going on to the AstroTurf. But he's had a good week's training, and no doubt, week after week he will get better. So, but a good game for him today.
And it presents an opportunity for a player like Liam Scales, and on the upside, you're welcoming back the maturity, should I say, of Alistair Johnstone, who's been a mainstay, and that will be important in the current circumstances.
Yeah, no, he's a fantastic player, Ali, an international player. So bringing him in, he's obviously not going to play the 90 minutes, but we'll see how many minutes we can get into his legs. But it's great news to have him back. Liam has done really well over the course of pre-season, and there's a nice opportunity for him to come in. I trust when he plays, he'll come in and play with the desire and quality that's needed.
And you've mentioned the challenge to find that extra little bit of flair in the final third. Yang starts today, his first start for Celtic, and he comes with that pedigree of being Young Player of the Year and what is a very technically gifted league. Are you hoping he can bring a little bit of that today?
Yeah, I think it's important to have a winger that can dribble and take players on. So he showed up very well in training. He's slowly getting to grips with the tempo and the intensity of our football, because it's been a big jump for him in Kwon in terms of the speed of the game back in Korea to here. But he's shown really good signs, and it's important, especially if moments that St Johnstone are low on the pitch, we have those players that can beat people in 1v1 situations. So it's something that he does really well. So I look forward to seeing him play.
Wish them all and you the best of luck.
Cheers. Thank you. Thanks.
This is as tough as it gets for St Johnstone, the one draw that they would have wanted to have avoided. Sinclair, who picks out the corner. It's taken Celtic 2.5 minutes. Comes out to the Celtic captain. Oh wow! He's got a man over, it's Forrest, and it's 3. Burke here, he's got Sinclair completely free in the middle. It's a tap-in. Still Edouard deflected. Sinclair, can he have his hat-trick? Yes, he can. Celtic cruised through and was never in doubt.
Brendan Rodgers there, Peter. He's approaching 700 games as a manager, and it will be that kind of experience that Celtic, the players, and that will be leaning on at a time like this. We talk about it as if there's a crisis at the club, one defeat and going out of the League Cup. But Brendan's been there, he's seen it, he's done it all.
Of course he is, and that's why he's a top quality manager that he is. And there's absolutely no doubt. There's only one way you can react to any defeat. It's what you do next. Monday, we'd have spoke about it with the players on the Monday. I've absolutely no doubt of that. But then on it the Tuesday, it was all about St Johnstone, and that's what you've got to do. At this football club, you'd expect to win every game and play well in every game. And if you don't, there's criticism comes with it, and it's who handles it the best can handle wearing the jersey. And people have always said that, and that is a fine line between being a good player and not so good, because you can handle the pressures they come and play and adversity at times. But there's no such thing as adversity at this moment in time. You've lost a cup tie, which is always a possibility. I always think people don't give the credit for the treble, because it's so difficult to win cup ties consistently. The league, you get an opportunity to bounce back, but in cups you don't. And last week, unfortunately, we didn't play as well as we did. We had a disappointing performance, but I'm sure Brendan will be working all week.
It's almost as if Brendan and the players have become like a victim of their own success. You know, Brendan was the one that started this recent haul of trebles, and he did it as an invincible as well, to the point where, as you say, it became kind of the norm. So going out of a cup competition just feels like something that's so dramatic, and yet you don't have to go back too far, but it was the norm.
Absolutely. Listen, I was involved in it for a long time, so I know what it was like and the disappointments that come along with that. So now I always say to people, enjoy these moments, because you want them to last forever. Does it always happen? We don't know. You never know what's round the corner, and that's why I always used to say to players, the next one's the most important one. After one, whether you've won one or whether you've not. And it's the same being champions. You're champions for 6 weeks, because everybody's trying to, as soon as the season starts again, everybody forgets what you done last year. So you have to go and win it again. And that's the demand that Celtic Football Club gets. Brendan knows that. He's been here before. He knows that. He's been at big clubs down in England. He knows the expectation here. And the players realise that very quickly when you come and see the magnificent support that comes here week in, week out.
Absolutely. Well, the players are in the tunnel, getting ready to come out onto the pitch, and there's no doubt there is a little bit more pressure on them this afternoon because of that defeat to Kilmarnock last weekend. But for the likes of Callum McGregor, the captain, and the experienced players in the squad, your Joe Harts and Alistair Johnstone and people like that, I'm sure it'll be a challenge. I'm sure all week, Peter, they would just be desperate to get back out onto a pitch.
That's the one thing you're desperate for, is the next game to come quickly, to get an opportunity to go back out and play again. And it's fantastic coming here. You're playing on the green grass again, as they say, because obviously the pitch down there is not fantastic. It's part of Celtic have played brilliant at Kilmarnock, so I'm not making an excuse about the pitch and the performance. But I'm expecting a big performance for you, even though there's been a lot of changes. We've got a lot of talented boys out here, and they all deserve that opportunity.
Well, teams are coming out onto the Paradise pitch, looking resplendent in their new walkout tops. It's time for me to hand over to your commentary team this afternoon, Paul Currahy and Simon Donnelly.
A packed Paradise this afternoon. The champions at home again after a couple of games on the road. 2 league wins out of 2 for Brendan Rodgers' side. A 4-2 victory here over Ross County on Flag Day, followed up by a 3-1 win at Pittodrie, playing against a St Johnstone side who haven't had their troubles to seek bottom of the table after 2 games and had a pretty dismal League Cup campaign with 1 win. But this afternoon, Stephen McLean will be looking for his side to bounce back, but of course so will Brendan Rodgers' side. And the manager makes 4 changes from last weekend. A welcome return to action, the first game of the season for Alistair Johnson. As Jerry pointed out, it's an old school 1-2-3-4-5 at the back, with Liam Scales partnering Gustav Lagerbielke for his home debut, and Yang makes his first start in Celtic colours. He's one of the 4 changes. David Turnbull also takes his place in midfield, with Odin Holm dropping to the bench. Of course, Celtic again looking for 3 wins out of 3. St Johnstone also make 4 changes from the side that lost 2-0 away to Ross County last weekend. That includes 3 debuts, 3 players that they've brought in on loan this week. Luke Robinson, Jay Turner-Cook and Dara Costello, who are immediately thrown into the front line, which I think is perhaps an indication that Stephen McLean knows that things have to change for his side. And they couldn't have asked for a tougher challenge this afternoon, as Callum McGregor makes his way over to the huddle. Matthew McDermott will be the referee this afternoon. He's in the centre circle at the moment, but it's Callum McGregor who will give the team those last few minutes some moments and words of encouragement. Celtic Park absolutely packed for this game this afternoon. 3rd league game of the season. Celtic with that 100% league record. The echoes of the Celtic song echoing out around Celtic Park. Good to see Alistair Johnson back after injury. Anthony Ralston, one of the subs this afternoon. So a big moment for Gustav Lagerbielke, having just joined, made his debut last weekend, but his first taste